welcome to Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton. Today we're going to talk about Olive Branch of Hope and the difference that Olive Branch of Hope is making in the community, and it's a really good one. And with us right now we have, first of all, the President and CEO, Ojoma Edeh Herr, Doctor. And we also have along with you Luke Wealand. And Luke, you are Activity Facilitator. Thank you for being here. But there's also another relationship too. Tell us about this, Ojoma.
Well, as you know, Olive Branch of Hope started about 10 years ago. And I have been a professor all that time, but it wasn't until the spring of this year that I discovered Luke in my class. I had him. His enthusiasm, his sincerity, his honest, and his devotion to this field really surprised me as a young man to be devoted that way. So I kind of recruited him to come and work for us, and I'll tell you, I'm not disappointed.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Millersville University is where you are a professor in special education.
That's correct.
Okay, and that's what Luke is doing as well. So Olive Branch of Hope, to define mission, is assisting adults with intellectual disabilities and or autism to be integral members of society and to be as independent as possible.
Yes, I think every human being have right to be who and to their maximum potential they want to be. Yeah. And individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism are no different. So our job is to provide them with it's really the bridge to that independency. So our job then is to provide them, when they finish high school, they may not have the skill needed yet, so to help them to become a member of the society. And we're doing a good job, obviously.
Absolutely. And having Luke, and we're also going to meet someone else that has just come on board too, is making a huge difference. So, Luke, tell me why you chose this field.
I really think I just found kind of my niche for it, and it kind of just came naturally to me. I'd say it definitely started when I was growing up in my childhood. I had a friend that had autism, and a lot of the times he would get picked on and something just didn't really sit right with me. So that kind of all stemmed from there and then built up to it when I became more knowledgeable on what autism is, how it may look for different people. And I just really found a big interest in it and kind of just went from there.
Okay. Because it's personal to you.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So when you're an activity facilitator, what does that involve?
That just involves, making everything go smoothly. It's not anything like, oh, activity facilitator, you know what I mean? It's like, it's what the individual wants to do. And I think that's where it kind of gets misconcepted a lot. It's like, oh, you have to have this plan, this plan, this plan, this plan. But it's just what they want to do. Like when you're sitting at home thinking, oh, what do I want to do today? You have your responsibilities, and then you have your free time, and you get to choose what you want to do in the free time. Just because they have autism doesn't mean that they don't get that choice of what they want to do. At the end of the day, they're not this robotic figure that you get to tell what to do. They have interests, they have a lot of fun, and they know how to love, and I think that's just really important that it gets to be seen in a light that appreciates that and is able to display that in a healthy manner.
And it's really about being in the moment with individuals too, and building relationship, right?
Yep.
And you've seen that with Luke, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the funny stories, we have 10 million of them, of course, is that we have all young men. We don't have any young ladies, because I don't know why. But all of them, once in a while, they'll kick us female out because they want to have guys' time.
Okay.
And they'll do guys' time, and Luke, and you're going to meet Matthew in a little bit. Then they will teach them what guys do. Well, no matter how smart I am, I don't know what guys, I'm not a guy. And that is fantastic. And then they go out and do crazy stuff, play, like frisbee and all these crazy things that guys do, and they love it. So it really is wonderful. It's a relationship connecting with them. Luke actually took a couple days off for 4th of July, and one of the participants just couldn't stop asking for him. Where's Luke? When is he coming back? Where's Luke? When is he coming back? It's constantly like that. So they're bonded with them.
And because there's a closeness in age too, which I think helps too, because we're talking about, with Olive Branch of Hope, it's young adults 18 plus. And I think you said the oldest right now is what, 28 or 29?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
And you're probably early 20s?
I'm
Luke?
21, yep.
Yeah, so it's so relatable, right? Really one of the guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when you think about this, what are other misconceptions that you think we may have that you actually have learned, from working with individuals too?
That's a really good question. I'd say kind of what I touched on earlier, how the individuals have interests of what they enjoy doing. We actually just took a training on that called person-centered thinking, and I think that really definitely helped to take a step back and think, okay, like as a person, this is what I like to do.
Right.
As a person, this is what they like to do, and like dive deeper into that interest. And I think that's how you form a real relationship with anyone, getting to know them at like that surface level to build or go deeper. I think that's just how you build a friendship or a relationship with anyone, and it's no different than people with autism. And I think that's a big misconception that people understand. Like it's like, oh, I have to tread lightly, or oh, I have to talk a certain way. It's just at the job, you talk normally like you talk to anyone else, treat them normally. And the coolest thing is that they can pick up on that. They can tell, they can pick up when someone's being fake. They can pick up when someone's, treating them differently.
Yeah.
And I think that's like really cool that, it's just a real relationship, and it's very genuine and honest, and it'll always be that way with these individuals.
What are some of the activities that you do that are part of the program?
With guy time.
So what does that entail?
It's just like hanging out with your friends. You just talk about what's going on in life. It's just a fun time. A lot of the time we play Uno. We make some bets. We have a chart going of who's doing a lot of winning. And then we like to go outside a lot. We play some kickball. Just everyday fun stuff, whatever comes to mind on their mind. You say, hey, what do you guys want to do today? They'll give an idea, and boom, you roll with it.
Okay. So how do we gauge success?
Me personally, I think success is very subjective to each individual. For me, I could say, oh, being successful is making X amount of money. To them, maybe successful is being, oh, I was able to pour my water today and get my lunch set up. And that could be something so big and so proud in their life that that takes them to that level. And I think that's something that people also have a misconception for. Yeah. But I think really success is when you feel proud as a person. So if they're feeling proud of what they're doing, I think that is successful for them.
Success and growth. And I think you have a story that you can...
Oh, 10 million of them.
So give me one.
Give one quick one.
Yeah.
There's a young man that is afraid of height.
Okay.
And when we went to the train museum in Strasbourg, and actually it was Luke that encouraged that young man, and he climbed onto the deck of it, and there he was going because Luke was there to encourage. I mean, we took pictures and sent it to the parents, and the mom was crying. Aww. It was that beautiful, and that is success. Yesterday, we went to our community pool to swim, and a young man that is afraid of water was actually swimming and holding the edge of the pool with both Matthew and Luke, and that young man was proud of himself that he wanted to go back again today.
Wow.
So yes, we do a lot of things, bowling, and Go Banana, the Sky Zone. We do so many things, and in the middle of it, then we kept including for them to make the choice. We don't robotically, like Luke was talking about, tell them what to do. Yeah. They need to make the choice for themselves. Yeah. And this morning, one young man told me no. Okay. When I suggested something. It's fascinating. Yeah. And this is the young man that came to us saying yes to everything.
Yeah. So sometimes you can see the progress coming. Other times, it probably surprises you. Right, Luke?
Right. Yep. That hits it right on the nail. Yeah. Head on the nail.
So every day is different, which probably also makes it exciting because you don't know what to expect and you're coming into this relationship too. Is there something that sticks out in your mind that surprised you with an individual that happened?
I would definitely say the pool. The pool was a big one yesterday.
Okay.
The individual saw something on the news that was definitely very close to their heart, and they were taking a lot of concern into that. So to be able to go into the deep end in that time for them and like know that that was on their mind and watch each step on the way and look back and make sure like everything's okay. I think that was a lot of growth, and that was a really successful moment for them.
I would imagine doing what you're doing is so gratifying, isn't it?
I find I'm very thankful for what I'm able to do. I think it kind of takes a step back on life and, you know, enjoy the small things and what makes people happy. And I think people get really caught up in the world and what it has to offer, but it's really the simple things that offer the true joy.
So what we would say for those who aren't sure how to interact when we meet someone with an intellectual disability, basically treat them normal and speak.
Just like how you're talking
like
to me.
We're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's not this crazy special skill that you need to study for years and learn. It's you're born with it. So.
One misconception is also, oh, you must have enough patience to work with this population. No, they're just like everybody else, and when they're not feeling good, they'll let you know. We phrase our word say cranky pants. They'll say, I'm cranky pants today. That means they're not feeling good, and there's no special patience needed.
Yeah,
they're just like human, you and I, just learn differently.
Yeah. Well, you are making a big difference in our community. And Olive Branch of Hope also has a website, too. What is that? olivebranchofhope.com. Okay. All right, we can check that out, get other stories, get other information there, too. Thank you so much. This is great to have Luke as a part of this.
Yes.
It really is.
He's a wonderful young man. I'm very proud of him. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of this and making a difference. We're going to meet Matthew, but right after this, stay tuned.
You're watching Lancaster Community TV, LCTV 66.
Welcome back to Behind the Lines. We're talking about Olive Branch of Hope. And if you don't know what that is, it is assisting adults with intellectual disabilities or autism to be integral members of society and to be as independent as possible. So with Ojoma, who is the president and CEO, now joining us, we have another activity facilitator. We have Matthew Morris. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And you just couldn't help yourself. You had to recruit another student, right?
Yes, I really couldn't. This past semester was a great one for me. I had this young man, Matthew, in my classroom. I was blown away by everything, the professionalism, the attitude, the humility. And in addition to that, he misunderstood one of the assignments that I said to do on one grade. Instead of taking it back, step or whatever, he did it for first to 12th grades.
Oh my God.
He's the first in my 25 years as a professor that actually did way more work than was required of him. He was fantastic. And I knew I had to recruit him.
Absolutely, because he'll continue to do way more work than expected.
Yes. He's not a lazy guy.
Wow, Matthew. So you are not originally from the area. You're from the New York area, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it brought you to Millersville. And what year are you in right now?
I'm going into my senior year at
Okay,
Millersville.
going into senior year. So what brought you into this field? What's your story behind this?
I think it was more of like the field came to me in a sense. So I think like the more I got involved with special education, the more like the love grew. So over time, just getting to experience like in-person activities with guys, it's just been great. So
when you say it came to you, how did it come to you?
I mean, I didn't really make my decision to go into this field of special education until college. Okay. So it really came to me through the classes that I was taking at Millersville and some of the like field experiences that I had to go on. So those were really my first experiences, but ever since then, like I said, my love for the field has just been growing.
So what type of field experience were you on that first made you start to think, oh wow?
So the first field experience that I went on, I went to a middle school and I was in a life skills classroom.
Okay.
And I got to meet so many students that were just amazing human beings, amazing characters. That's one of my favorite parts. I love learning about like the background of each person, sort of getting to know who they are and just building those relationships. So those are the kinds of things that led me to this field. So.
Yeah. So what are you seeing with Matthew, with what work he's doing right now, Ojoma?
Well, Matthew is down to earth, and he's really open. He does not see our participant as less important than him at all. He communicates with them like he would with anybody else,
right.
friends. And Matthew is very creative.
Yeah.
He has all these ideas, like I was talking with about Luke earlier. They have these ideas of guys and all that. One of my favorite stories is one young man in our program wants to get a girlfriend, and these young men are teaching them how to get girls' attention. I mean, it's fascinating. Yeah. I don't know how to do that because I'm a girl. So yes, Matthew is a hard worker, very devoted and very professional and very humble to a fault.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's such an authenticity that you have with everybody. And I think we can kind of feel that too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So if we talk about success stories, things that you see, we were talking with Luke, how every day is different and the interactions are different. You never know what's going to happen. Tell me something that really made you smile, that just warmed your heart as some success story.
Well, a lot of people might not even see this as a success if they don't know a lot about like special education. But one of our participants, when he first came to the program, he just never really said no to anything. He would always say yes to everything. Right. And the first time that I saw him shake his head, say no to something, was such a big moment, and it really put a smile on all of our faces. Yes. It was a insane moment, and although it seems small, that's a huge step for this guy. So it was just great to see that.
So that I understand this, and maybe anybody else too. Lots of times you always hear no, no, no. You want to hear yes. So what was it about him saying yes that then him saying no?
Well, some of our participants have learned the survival skills.
Okay.
If you say yes to your teachers, then you don't have problem. Then it's going to be okay. Do you want to go swimming today? Yes. Do you want to dance? Yes. Now what we're teaching them is you are independent. You have a mind of your own. You don't have to say yes because your teacher says so. You can say no if you don't want to do it. So we started with 2 choices, and then we expanded with many choices and multiple choices. And today, you just ask spontaneously, well, do you want to go to the library today, or do you want to go bowling? And then you said, okay, I think today the weather is bad, let's go to the library. And the young man will say, no.
Okay.
And that's huge.
Yes.
Because there was no option.
Right.
To pick one. Let's go to the library today. And then the one that Matthew is talking about, then will say no. And everybody, of course, I cried all the time. And it was like, did he just say no to that? Did you just hear? And you start to doubt yourself. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? Did you see that? And then, it is true that the young man doesn't want to do what we suggested.
Wow.
And then we'll ask, what do you want to do? And he'll come up with what he wants to do. And then we'll do it with him. Yeah. It is fascinating.
It is fascinating. What do we need to know about special education, Ojoma?
Well, the special education, I want to actually let everybody know there's nothing special about special education.
Okay.
We're all different, and everybody have their own differences, approach to doing things. I'm the baby of 11, as you know, and my mom said you put 10 on one side of the scale and me on the other side, and the scale balances. Even within a family, no 2 siblings are alike. We're all different.
Yeah.
People with special needs are the same thing. They're different. They have feelings. They have emotions. They express it differently, but they're no especially different than anybody else. Just accept them. When you see somebody with disabilities, you shouldn't yell because you automatically think they're not going to hear you. And you shouldn't grab them by hand because automatically you think they need your help. Just talk to them. Feel who they are, just like you would do with me or anybody else.
Yeah. Matthew, do you think some of this came easy to you?
In a sense, yeah. I think maybe it was easier than I originally thought that it would be. But there are definitely challenges as well. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some hard days. Some hard days where guys maybe don't have the most fun, but those are days where they learn the most. So,
oh, wow, okay.
yeah.
So a hard day would be like what?
Maybe something happens that upsets a participant, and then they have to spend the rest of the day trying to get over that moment. And it might impede on the rest of the activities for that day, but eventually, at the end of the day, if they figure out, you know, what's bothering them, it's a big moment for them because they're able to sort of self-correct in a way.
How do you help them with that?
Well, we actually have, depending on the individual, one size doesn't fit all.
No.
One of the individuals that home situation always interfere with the program, we had what we call MAD guide, M-A-D guide.
Okay.
So when you're mad, whether it's at home or at the program, what do you do? And we have a picture of him, and he followed through it sequentially. Count to 10, take a deep breath, say, I am upset, I don't like it, I want to go out for a walk. And then he has it in his MAD guide of what he should do.
Okay.
And like Matthew is saying, through that then, we help them to figure out, actually I'm mad at Ojoma. I'm not mad at Matthew or Luke. So I shouldn't take it out on Matthew or Luke.
Okay.
So through all that sequentially, we help them to figure out what is upsetting them and what the issue is.
So you are facilitating, but you're guiding them.
At the same time.
At the same time, yeah. Matthew, what does this mean to you to be able to do what you do?
It means a lot. I'm just really thankful to have been given this experience and this opportunity. I think it's just, honestly, I think it'll help me so much for my future as an educator. I don't have like a crazy amount of experience right now, so this is where I'm getting it.
Yeah.
And every single day I get to learn something new. So.
That's the key too. You're learning too, and that's the beauty of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn as we go. They teach. That, as I told you before, they taught me to be myself. I don't have to please anybody. And I learned that from individuals with disabilities, with intellectual disabilities. It's okay that you're not the same as everybody. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
I know.
There's so much joy here
It is
today, isn't it?
fascinating. Yeah, it is
because
really
I can
wonderful.
tell that you really enjoy what you're doing because you are making a big difference. And I know you hear from the parents and that sort of thing as well.
Yes. I actually, I mean, when we have amazing parents, it makes our job easier.
Yeah.
Because they let us know what is happening at home. We let them know what is happening in the program. And as a result, we work as a team together and for the benefit of our participants.
And that's what it takes. And I think you've got a great team here with both Matthew and with Luke.
I really do. Which is very unusual. We don't have a lot of male in this field.
Right.
And to have these two young men
Yep.
being devoted to see the differences in people with intellectual disabilities is fascinating.
Yeah. And everybody likes guy time, right?
Yeah, they do. They do, yes.
Yeah. Thank you both, and thank you, Luke, as well for being here. Olive Branch of Hope, if you want to find out more, olivebranchofhope.com. Thank you again. Thank you for joining us today, too. I'm Diane Dayton with Behind the Lines, reminding you to look behind the lines. You might be surprised what you find.